I already know nobody gonna be up this late. It's almost 5 o'clock in the morning, if not 5 or after. I don't expect nobody to be up. I shouldn't be up. It's my birthday. I got a big super live going on later on. But here I am on here chewing like a big back. On here chewing like a big bag on my birthday. Okay, mind you, 4 o'clock I got a pre-show. 6 o'clock I got a main show. All live. Guests coming through. People coming in and out. Y'all coming in and out. But still, I'm here. And the reason why I came here is because, damn it, Polo, I'm proud of you. Polo, if you never get to hear, just know I am so super duper proud of you. I'm proud of you. And I wish, and I can't wait for this other individual to make me just as proud and to bring me just as much pride from the fact that he stands on all 10. Polo, you're not a traitor. You're not a traitor at all. You are someone, see, okay, let me put it to you this way. There are two ways that people think, right? One is the way that they think when things are going every way they want and need those things to go. And two is in those moments when things are not and they're in flight or fight mode, when they're in desperation mode. And when you're in that mode, you may make choices and you may do things and you may have behavior patterns that are not consistent with the person that you would be absent those struggles that put you in a place of desperation. So well, one empathetic and graceful person could give grace to a person like Polo, who we may have seen not always in the best light, right? But we can give him grace once we know and we understand that a lot of the decisions that he's made over the course of the last 2 years or whatever it's been have been decisions that were made out of need, lack, and desperation. And because of that, it allows you to be a little bit more diplomatic in terms of your grace and understanding for Polo. Um, but to those people who feel as if he's a traitor, or to those who agree with that sentiment, I want y'all to understand this. Every relationship has a limit, right? And there are certain things that no matter how close or cool you are with someone, if those things occur, you would separate yourself and it would not make you a traitor. So for me, I don't care how much I love you. I don't care how cool we are. I don't care how close we are. If you steal from me, the chances of me ever forgiving you and us being able to recoup any kind of a relationship is almost impossible, because I do not like those types of thieves, sneak thieves, people who I just don't. There's something very grimy about that, and I don't like it. So if you do that to me, there's a great chance that we're never going to have any relationship whatsoever. So we all have a limit. If Polo reached a limit, and the fact that he got his own spot allow him to see that limit. See, what y'all don't understand is that when you have your own place and you able to close those front and back doors and windows and think, and the only voice that you hear is the voices in your consciousness, and you looking back on the last number of years of your life and the way that you may or may not have been exploited, the way that you were placed in positions where you had to behave in ways that are not characteristic of you, absent those traumas, needs, desperations, lacks, it hit different. Y'all gotta stop, like, lay off, bro. Like, y'all, all of that here, trader, this, that, and the other, or, oh, a nigga get a little something, and all of a sudden he think, no, this is not what that is. What this is the same thing it would be for you if the situation was reversed. It's the same thing it would be for you. A body does not know that it's dirty until you wash it with soap. It's not very different for a brain. A body does not know that it is dirty until you wash it with soap. Right? It's the same thing with brains. So, are you reading the Bible? And so the thing is this: Polo is not a traitor, in my opinion. He is just somebody that once he got out of the belly of the beast, once his trauma shrinked, once his traumatic situation shrunk, he came to a realization that the person that he's been for the last number of years is not consistent with who he is in his spirit, in his soul, in his heart. That's my interpretation, Polo. I could even be wrong, but that is my interpretation. I'm not interpreting this as you being a traitor. Because anybody that has been watching ASI long enough knows that traitor or not, it don't even matter. Because Marcus don't respect loyal people. So what the hell? Because what the hell did I do to you? Well, never mind that, because I don't give a shit. And pardon me for chewing y'all, but, you know, it is my birthday, so. Anna says I like and sub. Well, I appreciate that, Anna. Thank you very much. And the thing is, I didn't even really want to get on this, but I will tell you what, as long as we on this subject, I might as well just go all the way in, right? Why go halfway in? Ew, that did not sound right. I better just say no Diddy real quick. But I wish somebody else would get to a place where Polo is. A place where they no longer feel they need this individual. A place where they have gotten themselves together and on point with their family to the point where this individual becomes an irrelevant factor in their life. But I already know that the road to that point can be a tough road. Because I can imagine it's hard when you've been inside of a social media bubble for so long, right? You start to identify even yourself by that persona. And you start to feel as if you don't have as much value without that persona. And it's easier for you to feel that way when you're homeless, when you're drug or alcohol addicted. because your brain is being chemically altered in a way that you won't appreciate the reality of your situation. But the thing about that is that when you come up out of that, y'all think Polo hasn't sat inside of his house, his apartment, his crib, his spot, his residence. Y'all think he hasn't sat inside there over the last week or two? Well, week, and just reminisced over the last 2 years of his life? Y'all think, I put money on it that Polo, I will put money on it that Polo, I really don't want to touch this subject because he's so much more than that. So you know what? I'm not even gonna touch that subject. Bro is more than that. To reduce him to that moment in his ASI history, I think would not be fair. So I'm gonna leave that alone. But what I will just say is, generally speaking, every decision that Polo has made over the last 2 years were decisions that were born out of struggle, need, lack, desperation. And just because y'all have been the benefactors of that desperation, just because y'all have been entertained by that, it doesn't mean that he doesn't get to come up the fuck out of it. And if you really like Polo, if you love Polo, if you really respect him, you will follow this part of his journey and not see it as a betrayal, but as a departure into his own manhood and his own world and his own identity and his own reality that is not crutched by any CC. How do some of you see that as a bad thing? How? How? This is one of those other areas where road meets rubber and you learn who's real and who's not. And you begin to understand why some of these weird effing sycophants can be so absolutely toxic. Polo, congratulations on your place. Let me publicly, respectfully, Polo, I don't even know that this needs to be an apology, but I will say it definitely needs to be a public acknowledgement that the perception or concern that I had regarding the method in which you were getting your living situation, I could have, well, sheesh. The truth is, I did go about it in a pretty non-messy way. But I can still understand from your perspective how you would feel because nobody wants to even be associated with that. And so I get it. And so for that reason in particular, bro, I apologize to you. But I want you to know that it wasn't anything malicious or intentionally malicious about that. On another note, though, I also want to congratulate you and to say to you, bro, I'm really proud of you. And we may live different lives, different lifestyles, and you probably don't get me. And, it is what it is, and it's fine. But as two people who have, well, at least in my case, brushed up against ASI, while you, on the other hand, sheesh. But Bottom line is, as two people who have that shared experience, I want to congratulate you, my brother Polo. You have taken the bull by the horns. You handling your business. You're doing what you have to do, and you stepping out into your own. And the only thing that I would ask of you is to not step back out of your own. Stay in your own. Even if like a lot of your subscribers or followers may be people who love ASI. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. If you do love ASI, in my opinion, that's on you. You're grown up. You can make those decisions for yourselves. But here's the thing. There could conceivably, Polo, come a point where some of those people no longer want to follow you because you're no longer in the bubble. And what I would say to you is that that's okay. That's fine. You have a character about yourself. There is something about you that people find entertaining. And I don't think that it all can be parsed down to ASI. I think that on your own merit, Polo, you have enough to offer this platform that absolutely you do not have to step back inside the bubble. Although if you do, I won't judge you because the bubble has a strong pull. I realize that. We've seen that recently. Jesus, we've seen that recently. The bubble has a strong pull. But if you can stay out of it, Polo, and do your own thing, I believe that you have more people behind you that would support you and pour into you than you may actually realize. But I guess we'll see, and time will tell. Um, but that's really my only message tonight. Literally, my message was pretty much for Polo specifically. Um, Just me expressing the fact that I'm proud of bro. I'm happy that his channel is doing well. I'm happy that his spirits are up. I'm happy that he's no longer struggling through the trauma of being homeless, which is not something to be wished on just about anyone. If you came to the live and you pulled up, thank you. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. Show up tomorrow. You know it is. Well, tomorrow is today actually, but it is my birthday, the 22nd, so I'm doing a super live show beginning at 6 p.m. I have a pre-show at 4, so you can kind of watch me cook a little bit and kind of get a little idea for how I make these delicious, delicious foods. Um, so yeah, that's a pre-show from 4 to 6, and then you got the main show from 6 until you have some special guests, friends and folks coming through, eating and enjoying one another's company. And we want you to be a part of that. So y'all make sure y'all tap in tomorrow. Well, I keep saying tomorrow as if I'm talking about Sunday. I'm literally talking about Saturday, okay? But with that said, I'm going to say good night. Much love, and I'll see you all hopefully tomorrow. Bye bye.